Hello guys, this is Pratik. Welcome back to the channel Sportsquation, where we don't just talk about sports on the surface but in depth. So today our focus is on the recently concluded second India vs England test match. And going into this test match, there were a lot of questions which were in front of Captain Shubman Gill and the team management, especially Gautam Gambhir, who was the center of most of the fans' wrath as a coach who is not suitable for the red ball format. White ball format, he has done pretty decent job, but in red ball format, India have lost series against New Zealand and Australia, which hampered the hopes of qualifying for the final at Lords, WTC final at Lords. So going into this test match, India had a lot of baggage on them, especially after the first test at Headingley, where they lost quite convincingly against an England side which on their wagon of baseball were too high, and the hopes of winning that test match was also good, because if we think about it, India were 430 for 3 on the first or the second day itself, and then there was that weird collapse in the first innings, and in the second innings of the test match, that is in England's first innings, we had a lot of chances which we could have taken, and the result of the test match could have been different, but again we couldn't capitalize on it. And then in the aftermath of it, there was this there was the decision that Jasprit Bumrah would not play all 5 test matches, and he was rested for this particular test match. So there was a lot of headache and talks going into this test match about, can this Indian side take 20 wickets even without the one and only Jasprit Bumrah. And if you think about it, no one has had any doubts, okay, that this outfit take take 20 wickets, because if we go by the stats itself, Jasprit Bumrah has been carrying this Indian outfit in tests for a long time. Since last year, the New Zealand series, he is the only pacer who have a decent enough outing, and even in Australia, he was the one carrying all the baggage. So to keep him fit and gearing up, it was decided that India would not play him in Edgbaston, and even before the test match, it was a uphill task, because India's record in Edgbaston was abysmal. It still is, but before the test match, they haven't won a single time ever. A lot of pressure building, and on top of that, India decides that they will go with 2 spinners and NKR along with Akashdeep replacing Bumrah. Prasidh Krishna, who had a decent outing in terms of wickets taken, not in terms of stopping the flow of runs, as he unfortunately gave away a ton of it, was still keeping his place in this particular test match. So it was even the higher task that India would not be able to take those 20 wickets, which every single fan, even the ones I talked to, my friends, all suggested that we are not going into this match thinking about a win. We are rather thinking about a draw, maybe, because we have made a batting so deep that it would be like a task for England itself to take our take away our wickets. So when Shubman Gill and Ben Stokes took up to the toss, the wicket was quite flat, just like Headingley, and Stokes called right once again, and he once again chose to bowl. So most experts were like skeptical about it, because this was a good batting deck, and as far as recent history is concerned, England have actually taken batting in the fourth innings on most occasions rather than few, because they are like, set any target, we will chase it. That's what baseball is all about. But if you think about it, can this always be the case? Well, turns out as the test match progressed, that turned out to be the same thing which caused them to fall down. Well, we discussed India's changes. England went unchanged, and in the first session of the first day itself, there was a lot of swing. The first hour, it was quite typical English pitch. It looked like an English pitch. English weather was on top, like there was clouds there. And Chris Wokes took out KL Rahul in the first hour itself. He played it on. Then Karun Nair, who had been shifted to number 3 in place of Sai Sudarshan, who was replaced by Washington Sundar, played I would say, a decent enough innings. He made the ball softer, and right before the stroke of lunch, as it has become a tradition of sort for India, they gave away a wicket. Karun Nair was gone, and then walked out the Indian captain Shubman Gill. Right? So in the first test, there was this one point of time where Shubman Gill played exceptionally well, but he couldn't convert it into a very big score. Like, personally, what I thought, if he had carried on and played some more, then India would have been in a much more better position, and that collapse wouldn't have happened. So I was banking on him to make some or other runs because he had already gotten a century. And then he started his innings, and India goes to lunch without much of a scare. Yashasvi completes his 50. In the second session, Yashasvi comes and is in his full touch. Shubman also compliments him well. Ben Stokes comes into bowl, and Yashasvi edges it while playing a cut shot and goes away in 89, which I felt like he missed a well deserved and truly a easy century as compared to in the other scenarios where he have batted. But unfortunately, he fell short. Then comes in the one and only Rishabh Pant, who on the back of twin centuries, only becoming the second ever wicketkeeper after Andy Flower to achieve that feat, and he was in fine touch as well. So India goes to tea on the first day, second session, without much, without any other wicket falling. After tea, Pant tries to go and take control over Bashir, and unfortunately, while trying so, he holds it to Zach Crawley on the boundary line. And then comes in the first change in this particular match, NKR, Nitish Kumar Reddy, and he had one of the worst, and I dare to say that it was one of the worst ever leaves I have seen since I've started watching cricket. And then India were in trouble. Shubman Gill was playing in fine nick, and he had also completed his 50 by that point of time, and he was joined by Ravindra Jadeja, who also was under scrutiny for the way he had bowled and the way he had played the first match itself. And yeah, everyone was calling for his hit, and both of them start building a partnership one by one. And by the end of the day, Shubman Gill gets another brilliant 100, and India are in a much more stable position. Then, as the pitch becomes easier to bat because the ball got softer, Shubman Gill also tries and tries, and he goes not out on 120 odd. Sure, Jadeja is complimenting him well. They had a 99 run unbeaten partnership by the end of the day. Second day starts, and Jadeja and Shubman Gill are playing in fine nick again. Shubman Gill gets to his 150 and is well complemented by Jadeja, who also completes his 50. They make a very big and crucial partnership of 200, and Josh Tung comes back into the attack and bowls a superb delivery to get rid of Jadeja. And let me tell you, that was one of the odd balls that bounced so efficiently, and it was a great delivery. Jadeja couldn't have done much, but Jadeja is another batsman who falls into the 80s as previously as Jaiswal did. Now walks in Washington Sundar. Now Washington Sundar was not the ideal choice for most of our fans because we wanted 20 wickets. We wanted an attacking bowler. And Washington Sundar certainly isn't an attacking bowler as much as Kuldeep Yadav is. And so that is another point which most Indian fans and most fans all across the world and experts pointed out that Kuldeep should have played in place of a certain Washington Sundar, which I felt like was another decision which we could have made but we didn't make. But as the day progressed, as the test progressed, I think that decision was good in all terms. So by that virtue, Washington joins Gill. Gill is on 150 odd, and Washington before tea there was a small phase in which England bowlers were on top, especially Josh Tongue. He was bowling in such a great rhythm, especially the bouncer trap that he was trying to impose on Washington Sundar, where he looked totally uncomfortable. I was like he was going to lose his wicket, but he didn't, and India went to tea with Washington to Sundar and Shubman Gill at crease, and then as uh, India went to lunch. Sorry. Then, as they came back from lunch, Shubman Gill was in fine nick once again. He was playing his shots. He was doing every single thing, and he goes past Mohammad Asur, this long-standing record of highest score by an Indian captain in England, which was created almost 10 years ago before Shubman Gill was actually born, which is in itself such a long time, around 30 odd years, big time. Still, no one was able to get that record to their name. It's really amazing. And Washington Sundar was also looking good in good nick. Both made another excellent partnership. Gill was in fine nick. He was not giving away his wicket as he did in the first innings of the first test, and it was such a joy to watch. And just like that, he completed 200, which is actually the first time any Asian, not even Indian, the whole of Asia, the first Asian batsman to score a double ton in England. It speaks volume. A captain playing and leading from the front. Then, as the innings progressed, I thought Washington Sundar deserved his 50, but he got a great ball from Joe Root, which turned and which took his stumps away. And he was unlucky, but then Shubman Gill had to bat with the tail. And he went to tea with Akashdeep and Shubman Gill at the crease. Shubman Gill had crossed his 250 by then. And everyone was like, he should get a 300, he should get a triple ton. And actually, he deserved it. But at one point of time, we all know that maybe that was not to be because the Indian tail, as we had seen in the first test, collapses really bad. But on this front, he went away. Shubman Gill scored a brilliant 269. Unfortunately, he went away. He could have scored his 300, but no worries. He still played a brilliant innings. a majestic innings, but I would like to put some sort of respect to the Indian tail as well, because Akashdeep tried to slog it. Unfortunately, it didn't connect, and he folded out in the deep. But Siraj and Prasidh Krishna batted for around 10 odd overs combined, which in itself is a great thing. I had discussed it with most of my friends, and they were like, yes, the Indian tailenders need to at least bat 30 balls each. Don't make much runs, but bat. And they batted. And it eventually helped in India's cause. So then India got all out on 583 threes, and 600 could have been reached, but it's all good and well. But and then India came into ball. So now when India came into ball, we all knew this is gonna be a big day, because you can't take 20 wickets without Jasprit Bumrah. That was the thing going on. That was mostly the agenda. I won't say it was an agenda, but it was like everyone was whispering that 20 wickets, you need 20 wickets, or else you don't win the test match. You need 20 wickets, or else it's not going to work. You can't score tons of runs like you did in the first innings, first test, and you can just let it go. Plus, you are behind 1-0. But then that first 10 overs was totally brilliant from Akashdeep and Mohammed Siraj. And I believe we should have taken almost 4 to 5 wickets on that particular session or that particular time frame. But 3 wickets was great, especially with Duckett, with the top, mostly the top order gone, with Duckett going for a duck, as well as Ollie Pope. Zach Crawley made some quick runs in this first over, but then after that he had no clue what to do, and Siraj took his wicket. Joe Root was standing tall as always, as he does, and he was ably complimented by the young Harry Brook, who I think should have gone. He tried. He was like, I should grab the ball, as it one ball actually he played it and it was going on top of the stump, but he tried to grab it, but no, he said, if I grab it, I'm out. Then he was like doing all sort of things, and I'm just thinking it was just 1 centimeter away from getting hit wicket. It was such a fun last 15 to 20 minutes that day. So second day ended with India getting 3 wickets of England. Then the third day morning session, I believe that Joe Root was the biggest wicket that Mohammad Siraj took, and it was kind of a lucky wicket, but I won't say it was a setup, because mostly players like Joe Root and Steve Smith, they come across their wicket, they'll expose their leg stump at times, which is also what Shubman Gill did in most of his innings of 269, and the one later on that we will talk about. But yeah, that is one area where any bowler can target, but it is tough to get the ball in that area. But Siraj did it well, and Joro tried to flick it. It got his edge, and he was out down the leg side, which is a funny thing for any batsman to get out to. Then came in the captain Ben Stokes, and he got a Jaffer. That was a Jaffer of a ball, and England were trailing at 80 odd for 5. And I was like, now we can get a healthy lead. We can even enforce a follow on. We didn't know that. But then James Smith came into the frame and they batted. Harry Brook and James Smith batted. And I was like, please, at least 50 runs or 100 runs lead. That's all I'm asking for. They batted. They scored 150 odd in that one session itself where India was on top. Then in the second session as well, they were batting. They completely got that session to their name. They completed 100 run partnership, 200 run partnership. Harry Brook got 100. Jamie Smith got 100. It was so, at one point of time, it was so boring to watch because it was just runs flowing, 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 flowing. And we can all agree, when one thing's happened for too long, we all will get bored of it. And that was the thing. That is what Test cricket is all about. That who would get bored first? Who will get bored first? And in that case, nothing was happening. And just like that, tea came, and the no wicket was fallen in the second session of day three, and India were helpless, completely helpless. And I was like, a friend of mine also said that both we will be getting two double turns, and I was like, no, we won't. But he was like too confident that yes, this will happen, trust me. And I was like, okay, let's see. And after the second session, I was actually thinking that maybe he is right. But then the new ball came in. India were bowling with a new ball, and Akashdeep again was the tormentor. He took out the all important wicket of Harry Brook, which opened up one end, and this was after a mammoth 303 run partnership. And then he and Mohammed Siraj dismantled England. One after the other, batsmen came, went, and Siraj took a six for, with each ball seeming like there was no tomorrow. It was not like, at that point of time, till that point of time, it was looking like a flat wicket. In that 10 over phase of 80 to 90 overs, between 80 to 90 overs, it was completely dismantling of England. So first new ball and the second new ball did the trick for India. And Siraj finished with 6 wickets, Akashdeep with 4, and a small point to add, Prasidh Krishna bowled really, really, really bad. And everyone was like, Krishna, you are playing for England. And yeah, there were a lot of things which were said to Prasidh. And I think so. I'll be, I'll be calm to him. I would say that he was trying to implement what the team wanted. He was not looking to like bowl outside the off stump or channel, or in that channel as we call it, or stumps to stump, which should have, which was what he should have done. But unfortunately, he didn't. He missed his mark. He was just bowling short, short, short. Jamie Smith is actually a good short ball player, right from his bat flow. Although at times he goes too aggressive and he tries to pull every other ball. But I think so. He is a proper talent which England should invest in the future, which England should look out for. He's a great hitter of the ball. He can put it into gaps as well, and he is one of those rare English batters in this baseball generation who can play that one long innings with patience as well. Not just he goes all out in on attack, as he can play it in patience. He can play the flow of the game, how it is going. And just like that, he was stranded at 186, not out. Siraj, Mia, Mia without Bumrah is more potent than Mia with Bumrah. And it was like a brilliant watch. He was just go swinging ball here, there, here, there, here, there. Hats off to him. Hats off. Him and Akashdeep bowled superbly. None of the other Indian bowlers got any wickets. Washington was hit. Jadeja was hit. Prasid was completely dismantled. Was buried there itself in the first innings. But England, that scorecard was even worse. I mean, yes, India didn't bowl well at with an old ball, but England, if you take that scorecard, it would be the most humiliating, we could say, or the most weirdest scorecard you can see in modern day cricket or any form, any type of cricket, any era of cricket, to be honest. Six ducks, a 300 run partnership, and a total of 407 or 408 something. Out of that, more than 50% runs were scored by two batsmen. The third, Zach Crawley, is the third highest run getter. They're the fourth highest run getter in that particular inning are the extras that Indian bowlers bowl. Sounds such a surprise, right? And then India came into bat on the last session, and Yashasvi and KL was like, let's go T20 mode. And everyone was like, fat, 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 fat. And Josh Tung bowled well in that. Josh Tung got hit for two boundaries, and then he got his line and length right, and he bowled to Jaiswal on the pads. It was plumb, but sometimes the ball bounces a bit too much. And there was a controversy as well. This was actually a controversy because because Stokes then went on to argue with the umpire that the clock has run down. But then Indian batsman took the review, and after the review, everyone was like, no, 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 it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Yeah, what is Stokes talking about? And after the review, everyone was like, no, Stokes was right. Stokes was right, completely right, because it was three reds. India lost the review, and everyone was like, no, Stokes was right. We want our review back. it was it was fun. But then Karan Nair comes, and he looked unsettled from the get-go. But he survives. End of day, end of third day, then fourth day comes in. It was the toughest day to bat. The clouds were there. The ball was doing all sorts of things. It was like magical. I was like, oh shit, oh shoot, we are back to the Anderson Broad era. And I was like, oh no, 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 this can't happen. I was thinking of a collapse, and at that point of time, it was all in my mind. Karun goes, Gill comes in again, and he was looking quite out of sorts at that point of time. And a person who have made 269 in the first innings, and then he looks uncomfortable. It feels so weird, but it happened. It really happened. And after that, it was a it was something of a magical ball. It was not only a Jaffa, it was a complete magic ball that get rid of KL. Again, kudos to KL, he got a 50. In the first test match also he got 100. But as we say with KL Rahul, as we have seen with KL Rahul, he starts the tour well, but then as the tour goes on, he becomes a former a mirror of his former self. Like, he gives such a bad return in the other test, and still we, on the basis of the first test, we carry him on. Just a little consistency is what we ask for from him. And unfortunately he goes out, and then comes in Rishabh Pant. Now, when Rishabh Pant comes in, there is two things that can happen. He can get out easily, or he can be the tormenting batsman that he is. On his day, he can do both. And that is why mostly both the teams have a lot of heart patience, because Rishabh Pant can bat and give you heart aches from both sides. Let it be in the opposition team or let it be in your own team. He comes in, and Josh Tung is bowling well. He comes in and he hits him for a four. Then he goes out of the ground and hits out of his crease and hits him for a six. I was like, what the heck are you doing, Rishabh? Calm down, calm down. But it's Rishabh Pant. Then Stokes is bowling from the other end, and Stokes bowls a beautiful ball. Again, he comes down the track tries to hit it, didn't can't hit it on. It hits on top of his bat, top near the sticker, and it goes straight to Zach Crawley, who unfortunately fumbles it, and that was a costly fumble because India at that point of time were around 300 ish. The lead was around 300 ish, and then again he unleashes, he hits it. He's playing in ODI format. His strike rate is such is on 100 odd, and I was like, what the hell is he doing? What the heck? What in the world is he doing? And I'm like, this is Rishabh Pant, and we're just living in his world. He hits it. Uh, Gill also goes in and compliments him well, hitting. And then by the lunch, it was a good thing. They survived, both of them. I was just happy Rishabh Pant is on the crease for that particular thing. He just keep doing what he was because I knew if Pant is there, there is two options. India can go from 300 to 350, 7 wickets down, or India could go from 350 to 450 in a blink of an eye. And I'm happy the second thing happened, because if the first thing would have happened, it would have been a repeat telecast of the first test match. And I'm not kidding, it could have been that. But everyone survives. There is another chance that Rishabh Pant gives, but unfortunately, that was a tough chance for Chris Wokes to grab onto. Much tougher than what Zach Crawley had. But yeah, he survives, or Pant survives, and we go to lunch on day 4, like that. And on day 4, everyone was like, when should India declare? When should India declare? And then Rishabh Pant is on his mode. He completes his 50. Gill completes his 50. Both are playing well. And Pant firstly hits Rashid, hits Bashir for a 4, and then as we thought that he would take on Bashir, he goes out of his crease, tries to hit him for a 6. Bat goes flying, ball goes flying in both different directions, and then I was fearful that maybe that bat could have hit some or other player. And there is a picture on social media where the where a fielder is like, what should I catch? And he's thinking that it is a ball, but it is actually the bat of Rishabh Pant. And just like that, Rishabh Pant, so Rishabh Pant goes out, and his strike rate was still 100. And I was like, how in the world is this guy doing this? But okay, fine, that happens. Then he goes away, and then it was a surprise for everyone that NKR was held back and Jadeja was put to bat, go and hit, go and do some damage. And I was like, maybe India wants to be positive, a bit of, you know, there are some things like the flashback of the first test is coming back, that we don't want to lose wickets. Let's be a bit conservative about it, because see, no matter what, if a collapse happens, England will be having to chase around 400 or 450. It would have had been pretty easy for them. Yes, it would have been easy for them, because the pressure would again be on India. You don't have the luxury of Jasprit Bumrah. You don't have any. In the first inning itself, you had just 2 bowlers, and if we nullify them, the other bowlers are not as sharp as it is at that point of time. It was that thinking, I feel. Jadeja comes in and he starts stitching another partnership with Shubman Gill, and just like that, the bat. Shubman Gill completes another 100, and he's and then he still bats, batting England out of the game, and just like that, India went into tea. Now, when India went into tea, everyone was like, "Why isn't the declaration coming in? They should declare. They should declare. They should declare." I myself had a different view. We shouldn't have declared at that point of time. Maybe later on we should have, but I still thought that let's batter more. Let's tire this Englishman and let's see what can happen. Although everyone was like, we need time, because the forecast on the fifth day was also not that good. And as as anyone, we had a great opportunity. We can win this match, level the series, and go to the main place, the birth, the ground that holds so much honor, Lords. With 1-1, the series is in balance. And then I was like, okay, let's see. Gill and Jadeja started aggressively. 2 overs, both had 1 6 in it. But then run they again play a bit of slow cricket. Jadeja actually batted like how you should bat in test. Although people were like, you should bat like T20, you should bat like T20. I think he was trying to be conservative and trying to protect his wicket, which at that point of time was the correct thing to do. Then, as time passed on, I was like, they should hit, they should hit. I was also like, they should hit, right? Declare or hit. It was truly great, getting frustrating for me as well as an Indian fan. I should be happy that India is batting long and all, but still, I was, let's give it to them. Let's give it to them. And then Shubman Gill had he hits those boundaries, he gets into 150. He hit magnificent sixes to root. Those sixes were really great with excellent timing and power. Then his catch was also dropped. It was, I won't say it was dropped, but it was truly weird and funny that how the fielder was like, oh no, I couldn't see it. I actually couldn't see it. And then Bashir got rid of him at 161. Now everyone thought that we will declare, but then they sent in Nitish Kumar Reddy, and I thought it was just to give him some confidence going into the next match. But then he tried to hit it again, and he hold it at in the deep near the boundary line, and I was like, he made 2 runs in 2 innings. Basically, that's how much Shardul actually contributed in the first test. But then I was like, it's okay. And let me point out to this. NKR bowled well. NKR had that C movement, and there was movement in his bowling as well, which will be crucial going into Lords, where maybe he would have to bowl 1 or 2 overs just with the old ball. Maybe we never know, but that is the case. And then Washington comes in. He hit some boundaries, and then that iconic declaration comes in. Shubman Gill's first declaration, and he was like, he went out wearing a Nike T-shirt, and I was like, India have a sponsorship by Adidas, and he wears Nike. There was, as nowadays people call it, there was aura points gained by him. His aura gained. It was great. It was great to see, and it was funny as well. So India declares and sets a target of 608. And for some context, a day prior, a day prior, Harry Brook gave an interview and said what everyone knows in the world, whatever the target would be, we will chase it down no matter what. Give us any target, we will do it. We will do it. And so India was like, hold the horses, or and then they gave him a target of 600. So now go and chase it. We are playing with your ego, and that is a statement in itself that India won't back down from a challenge. They will take it on, and they will give you a challenge instead, and we'll see if you can take the challenge on or not. And just like that, England comes into bat. Now, as England came into bat, I thought that they would go all guns. I won't. I wouldn't. I didn't think that they will go all guns blazing. but they still were doing that at one point of time, and especially Duckett did it because Crawley went and just got out on zero. And for some weird reason, although had that great partnership with Duckett in the first test, I still think that Zach Crawley doesn't fit in this England team. But it's the England management and they believe in him, so who am I to say it? Besides, it's actually a plus point for India that he's playing. Yeah, but other than that, yes. Then I might get trolled for that statement because you never know what can happen in the future, but still, I would put it out. Then Zach Crawley goes out, Ollie Pope comes in, and then Siraj is in the line of attack and getting hit by Duckett. All ends here, there. And then Akashdeep bowls a beauty to Duckett to get rid of him. Oh my god. Akashdeep was on a song in this match. Complete match he was on a song and he was adding to that one thing, adding to the Indian bowling attack, that one thing that was missing. That was consistently bowling in on a length, on a line which will trouble the batsman. Because this English batsman can't defend to save their lives. And I'm putting it out and I'm really honest with it. This cannot this lot cannot defend to save their lives. Even if their life depended on it, they can't defend because their technique or in defense is so bad that they have used the disguise of baseball to this put their technique behind and just go all out, made the pitches flat, have done everything that can actually be disadvantageous for them, which can be really bad going into the future for them. And I don't know what direction English cricket might go, but this was a good. Then Akash, let's get back to the final innings. Akashdeep just bowls brilliantly, consistently hitting a top of the line, and he bowls the Jaffer, the best delivery, as most experts has said so, and I respectfully agree with them that this was the best delivery in the whole of series. We might get some brilliant deliveries as well, but this is so far the best delivery. Joe Root gets all ends up. He doesn't understand what happened. His stumps, his bails are castled, and I'm just so happy that the one player who can actually stall India from a win, who can become the decisive factor in the whole of the test, is gone. And overall, it was fun. I thought India might have taken another wicket at that point of time, but it was good, well and good. No worries. Then India ends the day on top. Morning Mockle in the press conference is like, yeah, I would. He was teasing. He was actually teasing Brook. Yes, he said that they can chase anything down. I'm up for a very exciting day of cricket tomorrow. That is day 5. And I was like, man, everyone is taking fun of England. Everyone is making fun of England. It's gonna be so hilarious. It would be so fun. And day 5, I was so geared up for day 5. And then when I saw when I saw that match is being delayed, I was like, why? And then there is rain. And I was so deeply praying that, भाई मत बारिश गिर जा तू जा बारिश मत गिर मत please I'm begging you please भगवान जी please God don't just get rid of the rain please. And then after a while the clouds got away. There was no rain, and I was so happy again that yes, India gets a chance. 10 overs were reduced. India get 80 overs, and I was so keen to see what approach England will bring, and it was an approach which I was a bit truly shocked because England tried to defend it. I was like, how the heck is this happening? They don't have the technique, they don't have anything that is truly required to defend a ball. But then they tried it, and again, Akashdeep. Akashdeep again took the breakthrough, and it was such a great ball. And since 1970 or something, no play. This is the first time since 1970 odd, since the great Michael Holding took this feat. Akashdeep dismissed the top four batsmen, English batsmen, the top order as well as the number four, without the help of any fielder. That even includes a wicket keeper. Since the great Michael Holding, and it's such a big feat that it, like, I had no words for it, and I still don't have words for it. Like, it's such a big feat, man. And Akashdeep was still on song, and it was so much frustrating to see. No, he took out Brook as well. The ball kept low, and I think so, he got a bit injured. I don't know what happened to him. He was like limping, but yeah, I thought Stokes could have been gone. I thought Jimmy Smith could have gone. There was two balls that just came in like this, and there was so much gap in it. I was like, how the heck that missed? And then yeah, it still it still was good and fine. But then after that, India bowled really well, but were unlucky. Stokes tried to hit shots. James Smith, along with him, tried hitting it. Jadeja was given the ball. He bowled pretty decently as compared to the first innings, because maybe the how the English batsmen, more, I mean, they were not aggressive, and they were quite defensive in their gameplay. So they were not going to the attack. They were like, come to us, we will defend, we won't take unnecessary risk. And a key point, Prasidh Krishna bowled really well. When he hits the channels, when the bat, Prasidh Krishna bowled really well. When he is hitting the channels, when there is no such, like, there is, when the batsman is not going for him, like his head, he bowls truly well. Not saying false praise or anything, but he was bowling really well, and I was shocked. He was bowling maidens, a bowler which has an economy of 6 in the last match and almost 7 in this first innings, was bowling too well. But unfortunately, he will be replaced by Bumrah in the next test match. But yeah, it's good that he is finding his rhythm, and right, when there is momentum, when there is form, any bowler or any player will get to his best, obviously. So that is great news for India going forward. But again, again back to Jadeja. So Jadeja's speciality that people usually don't think about is that he bowls his overs so quickly, and that was so effective in the longer run. Because if you think about it, there was almost 2 to 3 minutes remaining, and everyone was like, this would be the last over, and Jadeja came into bowl. That guy bowled his over in just 90 seconds, less than even half a minute. Sorry, less than 2 minutes, which gave India another over. And in that last over, India took the all important wicket of Stokes. And let me get it straight. Stokes acts like he got the ball of the century whenever he gets out, or at the uppy, whenever he gets out. Not even when the umpire gives an out. Whenever he gets out, it's like so weird to see. It's so irritating to see from a fan's perspective. But well, what can we say? It takes the review, 3 reds, it's gone. And then India goes to lunch on day 5, happy with happy faces, 3 wickets, and now they are just 5 wickets away from a historic first win in Edgbaston. And then after lunch, it was all India, India, India. James Smith tried his best. There was a rough there, which Jadeja was utilizing so well. And just like that, Prasidh Krishna also got a wicket in the form of Chris Wokes, who tried to smash the ball, and then he topped it, and Mohammed Siraj took a good catch. Then comes in Brandon Cast. James Smith got into a 50, as I mentioned before, and he went all out against Washington Sundar. He tried to hit him, and then Akashdeep comes in to bowl. He bowls him short of the length. He pulls him for two sixes, and Akashdeep still goes in and bowls the same delivery, and he pulls him again. This time, just on the boundary line, Washington Sundar catches it. Akashdeep gets his 5 wicket haul. It was jubilation for India. That was the last wicket. Jamie Smith finally getting out, because let me tell you, he has around 200 odd runs, and on ESPN and all of the sites, his average is 216 because we haven't taken his wicket, which is kind of crazy because in the first innings he got holed out as well in the same direction. But yeah, now his average might have gone down, but yeah. And with that, the last hope of English was gone. Brandon Cars and Josh Tongue comes together just to defend, maybe, and see out what they can do. Brandon Cars was actually playing well. He made a good 30. I'm telling overall. And then there was still a phase where India wouldn't get their tail enders out, although they didn't give away huge runs. But and this tradition, this is another tradition that India needs to get rid of, not getting the wickets of the tail enders. And then Josh Tongues just flicks a Ravindra Jadeja ball into the air, and Siraj becomes jaunty roads. He took so brilliant diving catch. It's great and everything is good. And everyone is celebrating. Last wicket, Shoaib Bashir comes in. He tries to hit shots. He tries it. He then tries to scoop it. Unfortunately, fortunately, umpire gives out, but he reviews it and it's not out. Then again there is barrage. Akashdeep is bowling. Akashdeep is on a 9 wicket haul because he took 4 in the first innings, 5 in the second, and finally a ball comes. And Brendan Cars was playing a shot. Finally, Brendan Cars hits in the air, and the final catch. See the irony. It is India's win. Shubman Gill led from the front, made around 430, which is the second highest runs any player single-handedly had made in an entire test match. And he takes the final catch. Akashdeep, who bowled purely, brilliantly, fantastic, every gorgeously, takes a 10 for, and it was just pure. It was just how test matches is like. It's a pure script. It felt like a script someone wrote, and it felt so soothing and so nice. And just like that, India wins their first match at Edgbaston, and now the series is again in balance. Akashdeep mentions that his sister had cancer and the treatment is going on and all, and it just resonates how beautiful this game is. You can be anyone. You can be a superstar. You can have bad days. You can have good days. You can have excellent days. You can have career ending days. You can have a certain injury. You can have this, that, what not. But together, when you are together with your team, when you are there, you have each and every one of us. And that's what Test cricket is all about. It's about the story. It's about how This form of cricket is like your life. You can have good days, you can have bad days, you can have good small amount of time, you can have good big amount of time, you have bad amount, small bad amount of time, you can have n number of things, but at the end of it, it's the beauty of cricket. Whether you win or lose, it's the way you played it, it's the way everything you did, you put out in the world. It's all about that. Thank you for this test match, Shubman Gill, Akashdeep, and every single one of them contributed equally well. When you play as a team, you win. When you play individually, it is said that you cannot win. तुम लोग जितना भी ट्राई कर लो, क्रिकेट इज अ टीम्स गेम. एक इंडिविजुअल अपने हिसाब से पूरा ट्राई कर सकता है. दे कैन मेक यू विन अ मैच और अ कपल ऑफ मैचेस. अकेला जिता सकता है, बट जब तुम्हें टूर्नामेंट जीतना होगा, नहीं तो सीरीज जीतनी होगी, तुम्हें सारे लोगों को एक साथ लेके खेलना पड़ेगा. एंड दिस दैट्स व्हाई दिस विन is such an important part of Indian cricket. A new era has started, Gill's era has started, and hopefully it goes on and brings new accolades, new heights, and maybe someday a WTC championship back to India as well. Thank you for watching this video. I know it's a very long video, but I summarized every single thing. I do do tell me, do you like this form of video or a small summary? And what did you think of this complete test match? How do you think that India should go ahead? And hopefully India wins the last test match as well. So do like, share, subscribe, and comment below, because I will read every single comment, and in the next video we will also discuss about that. Thank you very much.